Hello, my name's Duncan and welcome to Back Away from the Donkey and Bath Books. And today we're going to talk politics. But this is politics with a small p, so don't worry. So, Ruby here has come to join me for the beginning as normal. As you can see, she's had a lovely groom, looking as pretty as ever. I will have to put her down shortly. So yes, I'm going to be talking politics with a small p. And this is books that are really about politics, even though you may not think they are. Some of them you may think are, but some of them are quite subtly about politics. But I said it's more politics with a small p rather than the big sort of Handmaid's Tale 1984 that sort of slapped you around the face with a wet fish. Let's not be subtle about this at all, especially Handmaid's Tale. Let's be really obvious that we're talking about politics. So yeah, this is a bit more sort of, slightly more subtle anyway. I'm not going to go in deep depth about them, but I would just some general recommendations of interesting books, hopefully. I've got a few videos sort of in working, and they are taking a bit longer because I'm a bit short on time at the moment, just with life and stuff. So I just wanted sort of throw together a nice quick video just to say, hey, I'm still here. And I thought you might find it quite interesting. So, little Miss Ruby. Are we going to stay for the whole thing? Or what? Hey? Can we show everybody your pretty cut? No, people can't really see, can they, that well? I'll be able to see how wonderful floofy your tail is. So anyway, yeah, so this is, I think it's about 6 or 7 books. So originally I was going to do 5. 5 books that are really about politics. So let's start now then. So my recommendation for number 1 is James Blish. This is After Such Knowledge, which is actually a anthology of all the books in this sort of series. It starts with A Case of Conscience. Let me check my notes here. Then it goes on to Dr. Mirabilis, Black Easter, and The Day After Judgment. All 4 of them. They're all quite short books originally. This anthology is actually quite hard to get hold of. This was published in 1991, and I don't think it's been published in an anthology since. It probably is on ebook, but I couldn't be able to tell you. But it is fantastic. It is about a Jesuit priest. They go to an alien planet, and these aliens do not understand the idea of sin. They're like almost a perfect society. And it's lots of discussions around this. I won't tell you any more because I think you should read it, basically. I haven't read this for quite a few years, so I might have to dig back into it soon, which I always say when I do these things. But yeah, if you can find this anthology, it's not, I sometimes despair at anthologies because I think they're too big. But because James Blish's books generally were pretty short, this anthology is just 730 pages, looking at the back of it. So it is not too bad. With After Such Knowledge, a good double bill with it is to read Harry Harrison's The Streets of Ashkelon, his short story, which is excellent and would fit well with this. So, I recommend you have a look at it. It's publishing several of his anthologies, short story anthologies, and it is well worth a read. Now on to number 2. This is a Alan Dean Foster book. This is The Man Who Used the Universe. I do like this cover. I don't know who did this cover, actually. But this is about, let me read it, Keys Van Loo Macklin, and that's a bit of a mouthful of names. Alan Dean Foster had a habit of doing this book, but he's basically a big underground criminal, and he moves into politics to sort of, looks like take over the world, take over the sort of the universe and running and stuff, and people are unsure of his motives for doing this, and he ends up discussing with what is known as a sort of vile alien race that are doing bad things, but he manages to deal with them. And it was published in early 80s from what I remember. And it's a really interesting book. And if you've not read any of Alan Dean Foster's non-tie-in books, it is well worth a read. Really like that one. The Iron Side is another one that comes off the top of my head. His book of shorts, Who Needs Enemies, and With Friends Like These, really worth a good read as well. On to book selection number 3. William Gibson, Neuromancer. I've got this copy. I've also got another copy over there, actually, of a slightly newer version. Neuromancer isn't an easy read. His prose and that is not easy for some people. Some people dislike it. That the first time I read it, I hated it, but I've grown to really, really like the book. No matter what, though, William Gibson's books are about politics. They are about multinational corporations, the power of corporations, and this is all politics to a degree. And you will find that in theme going through lots of his work, his short stories, Burning Chrome, great short story collection worth doing. Even his newer stuff like The Peripheral, it all sort of revolves around these ideas of corporations and the power that they have within people's personal life. So yeah, William Gibson, another selection for politics with a small p. This next selection is a double selection. This is all about the moon. And the first book in this double selection I'm doing is Artemis, Andy Weir. This was actually optioned for a film before Project Hail Mary. It really is sort of a heist book. It's about control, though. It's also about Earth's relationship with the moon and moon's relationship and how they become self-sufficient. So it is about politics in reality, because one of the main themes behind the actual heist is who controls the moon and what they can do to the Earth, whatever the Earth does. Which brings me into Arthur C. Clarke's Earthlight. Let me put this down. You staying up here, you're not staying with all my videos forever times. Earthlight, which I recently read. And it's probably one of my favourites of the Clarkes I've read so far. And it's about the moon, but 200 years in the future, the moon and the other planets are sort of sectioned off from Earth. And you have this guy coming on to do a so-called an audit to check what's going on the moon. And it's all about control of the moon, control of their resources, who controls it. And I think that's a good double bill, really, with Artemis. Tone-wise, two totally different books, but they are all covering similar ground. And actually, if you read Kim Stanley Robinson's, this is like a little extra for you, Mars trilogy, Red Mars, Blue Mars, and Green Mars, that's also has a lot in it about colonialism and moving away. And there's a lot in all these sort of books when you in the Settlement of Planets that sort of draws to that. So yeah, so that's Earthlight and Artemis from my next selection. As an extra, go and read Kim Stanley Robinson's Mars trilogy, because they are excellent. And finally, another sort of big name in science fiction. I am picking Robots of Dawn, the second one of the Elijah Bailey trilogy, and basically it's a detective novel. This second one, he's taken to Aurora, the outer planet, and Aurora people keep themselves totally separated off. Literally, you'll have one person in a state and you won't see them for miles. And he's trying to investigate a murder where people can't touch people. He has got agoraphobia, which he's got from living in close confinement on the Earth, because if you read Caves of Steel before it describes Earth as being very crowded. So he doesn't like open spaces, so you get the juxtaposition of the two conditions. But politically, you could say it's about sort of isolationism and dealing with other political bodies and what you should do to avoid stagnation. And not stagnation in a good way, but in a bad way. So yeah, I would recommend that all of those three robot books, The Caves of Steel, Robots of Dawn, and then Naked Sun. Naked Sun's the second one, have all got those sort of themes running through them to a degree. And they're all well worth a weekend read, and they're my favourite of his robot books anyway. So yeah, so that's a few books about politics in a small sort of P way. So I hope you enjoyed those selections. So if you've read some of them, I'd like to hear your opinions on them, whether you agree with me or not. And if you've not read them, go and read them. Especially James Blish ones, I reckon. Anyway, let's put Little Miss Pom Pom down. She will probably not be joining me on my next videos. But I will speak to you all very soon. And bye for now.